Now,
on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app.
O'Connor and Company.
It's 6:07. Thanks for tuning in here to O'Connor and Company. It's a busy morning. Going to keep you going here an hour from now with Tom Fitton of Judicial Watch. And at 7:35, Chloe Cole, she's going to join us in studio. She's in town to lead a rally called Stop the Harm. Let Kids Grow. This is to stop detransitioning. There's a state law that prohibits it on children. The Supreme Court's hearing that case tomorrow, so we'll talk to Chloe Cole. 8:05, Brent Bozell, and then at 8:35, Robbie Starbuck, who's single-handedly taken down the DEI departments. A lot of HR people who are out of work right now, thanks to Robbie Starbuck, and that's a good thing, by the way. Get a real job. That there is Julie Gunlock. You know her. You love her. She's America's sweetheart, and I'm just here to keep her in line. I'm Larry O'Connor. Thanks for tuning in. Let's talk about our neighbors to the north, shall we? Oh, we don't have the French version? I guess that's all right. People waking up right now saying, am I at a hockey game? What's going on? Only time you got to hear this.
I prefer the Blame Canada song.
Oh, absolutely. Well, we might be blaming Canada soon. Why not? Yeah, not only has Canada not been able to win a Stanley Cup in multiple decades, but they're also having major political upheaval right now because Justin Trudeau, their prime minister, has embraced everything that the woke left has demanded. They love him there. Oh, you see the lefties in America, Democrats, like, why can't we have somebody like Justin Trudeau?
Do they love him? I think his approval rating is pretty low.
Oh, in Canada it is.
Yes.
I'm talking about here.
Oh,
Americans love him. Americans
Yes.
think he's the greatest.
Yes.
It's
half of those are women who just think he's hot.
Is he?
Yes.
I mean, all right.
Yes.
Justin Trudeau is an outspoken critic of Donald
He's
Trump.
a hot tyrant.
But then Donald Trump won the election. And so Justin Trudeau's going to have to figure out a way to work with this guy,
Well,
right?
he came down and kissed the ring.
He kissed something down there, yeah. Well, here's the problem. Last week, Donald Trump said there's going to be an automatic 25% tariff on Canada and on Mexico unless they secure their border, deal with the migrant crisis, and stop the flow of fentanyl. Very simple equation here. And he's already gotten certain results from Canada. From Mexico. The president of Mexico said, we don't want a trade war. And it's like, yeah, we know you don't.
Yeah.
But Mr. Trump, I spoke with President Trump, and I told him that we are stopping the caravan that's heading their way, and we are working with them to fix the migrant.
We'll
It's like, where have you been for the last 3
Right.
years and 10 months? But that's fine. Good to know. So now Justin Trudeau goes down to Mar-a-Lago to, as you said, kiss the ring, as it were. Listen to Peter Ducey.
This is so funny.
Report on what apparently was said at the table with President Trump and Prime Minister Trudeau.
And tonight we're getting some new details about that Trump-Trudeau dinner from two people who were at the table. We are told that when Trudeau told President-elect Trump that new tariffs would kill the Canadian economy, Trump joked to him that if Canada can't survive without ripping off the U.S. to the tune of $100 billion a year, then maybe Canada should become the 51st state and Trudeau could become its governor. Brett.
Of more on that detail with the panel. Peter, thank you.
Hold on. Now, we love Ducey here. He's a friend of the program. He's a regular guest. In fact, we might need to call. Wake Ducey and the baby up here. Because I got to take issue with something here.
Then maybe Canada.
Hold on, because he said something here that I'm not sure. Hold on.
That new tariffs would kill the Canadian economy. Trump joked to him that if Canada can't survive.
Yeah, right there. How does he know it was a joke? I'm not so sure it was a joke.
I think it was, Larry.
Now, hold on a minute.
It's sort of like I'm going to be a dictator for one day, right? Because Ducey has a good sense of, because like Acosta and all the rest of them will freak out. They'll be like, oh my God, they're going to invade. He's going to invade Canada.
No question of invasion here. We've taken on other properties and territories as our states we didn't invade Alaska. We didn't invade Hawaii.
It's been a while, Larry.
This might make a lot of sense. This may make,
I'm not arguing.
It's a win-win. It'll solve a lot of problems
100%
here.
100% agree. We should take Canada.
So you need all of American money to be able to sustain your economy? Maybe we can work something out here.
I agree.
Both ways. And maybe the real
I
solution.
love that he offered
then maybe
him governor.
Canada should become the 51st state and Trudeau could become its governor.
Realistically, we'd want to break it into like 7 or 8 states, right? We could actually maintain the
You're really
provincial
going with
lines that
this.
they've got right now. It's manifest destiny, baby.
It'll be a lot easier to get to Alaska.
That's true. Exactly. I hate having to fly over Canada to go to Alaska. I always assumed that we'd start annexing part of Mexico. We'd start with the Cabo, all the way down the Baja Peninsula there of California. Why are you doubting me? That makes no, I'm being very serious. I really am. I know that.
Right. No, I see his face.
It makes absolutely no sense that the United States has not expanded our territory into new states since 1953, I think it was. Is that when Alaska became our 50th state, or Hawaii became our 50th state? Why suddenly did we stop? We had all of this expansion. We had all this territory. We had these territories turned into states, and then suddenly, boom, it stops in the mid-50s? No, this is America's manifest destiny, and it should continue throughout the entire North American continent.
Maybe someone thought 50 was a good number.
It is nice and round. I hear you. Like I said, I always assumed that we would just start with Baja California and take that off, and then we could move into Canada eventually. That makes sense. We don't need to invade. It doesn't have to be hostile. It just makes good economic sense for all parties involved. We have a lot in common with that.
I think Canadians kind of like being Canadian.
Do they, though? Why do so many of them move down here? Where did Celine Dion make all her money? Don't get me started on that Paul Schaefer creep. He couldn't make it up in Canada. Oh, Paul Schaefer's going to make money playing piano for a Canadian late-night talk show host? No, he had to have David Letterman. This is how things work. It's the natural flow of things. Don't resist it. We've been put on pause for a while, but I am fine with this idea. Let's go back to Justin Trudeau for a minute, though.
Let's do. Okay. I had no idea.
Imagine how humiliating it must be to be the prime minister of your country, a country that, a handful of people around the world actually have respect for, Canada. Not, there's no explaining some people's taste. But some people have respect for Canada. So you're the prime minister of that country. You're upset that Trump is threatening this tariff. So you go down hat in hand to Mar-a-Lago, Florida, and you sit at the table with him, and the only argument you've got as to why this tariff can't happen is because it will cripple your economy.
I know. Yes, exactly.
How humiliating. How emasculating.
Yeah.
It's like, you can't do this, Mr. Trump. Why can't I do this? Because it'll hurt us.
Yeah.
That's all you got?
You are so dependent. Maybe you're right. Maybe they should just become
They are. Why should we take them on?
Yes.
Ukraine might as well be our 51st state.
What was more humiliating, this or Mitt Romney begging for Secretary of State?
Oh, that's right up there. They're very similar.
Where was he?
In fact, didn't he call himself Pierre when he had his fake name on social media? Or no, it was a Latin name of some sort.
Yeah. Pierre Danger or something like that.
Yeah. It was something. Carlos Danger.
Carlos
no,
Danger.
wait. No, that was Anthony Weiner. Ixnay. No. That was a very different thing.
Sorry.
Very different thing. Anyway, the point is, Pierre Trudeau absolutely humiliates himself, asking Trump to please, I'm begging you, Monsieur Trump, do not put the tariff on us. We will never win a Stanley Cup because our economy can't survive. And Trump's response?
Then maybe Canada should become the 51st state and Trudeau could become its governor.
I just think it's fantastic, except for Trudeau becoming the governor. Oh, it was 59 when Hawaii became the 50th state.
Wow.
Donald Trump had one more thing to say yesterday that went well beyond just this great trolling of Pierre Trudeau. By the way, I 100% believe this happened. I 100% believe that Trump said that, and I would love to know what Trudeau's response was. On a serious note, though, he put out a statement on Truth Social that should have been said by our current president over a year ago.
Yes.
Let me read it to you. Everybody is talking about the hostages who are being held so violently and inhumanely and against the will of the entire world in the Middle East, but it's all talk and no action. Let this truth serve to represent that if the hostages are not released prior to January 20th, the date that I proudly assume office as President of the United States, there will be all hell to pay in the Middle East and for those in charge who perpetrated these atrocities against humanity. Those responsible will be hit harder than anybody has been hit in the long and storied history of the United States of America. Release the hostages now. What was stopping Joe Biden from saying that on October 8th?
Right.
Nothing except, well, his own political ideologies and the people who hold his reins. What do you think? Do you think the remaining hostages will be released before he assumes office?
They're monsters. I don't know.
I think they will. I think they 100% will. And I guarantee you Jake Sullivan and the Biden people will say, well, this was in the works all the time.
They already did last night. They already did. They already started taking credit for some of Trump's stuff.
There you go. 6:15 WMAL traffic. We've got critter news here. It's a Trump edition, though. We're going to keep it in Mar-a-Lago, where there are reports of a Trump security dog that is patrolling the area and keeping families safe. It's all sort of part of the United States Secret Service arsenal of protection for the incoming president and the family. But here's what's interesting about this, because there are we see the working dogs all the time that the Secret Service uses whenever we go to events where they're there with their
Their handlers.
Magtometers,
Oh,
is
yes,
that what they're called? And,
Yes,
and all that
yes.
stuff. Oftentimes you got dogs that are sniffing things out.
Yep.
And I love those dogs so
Yes,
much.
it's hard not to pet them.
It's so hard
I
not
know,
to pet
you're
them.
such a
It's
good
the
boy.
worst. It takes
Yes.
every ounce of discipline not to pet those dogs. This dog, a little different, though. This is a robot dog.
You don't want to pet this dog.
No, I feel no urge to
It
pet
will
this
kill
dog.
you.
This dog, it's not a dog, is it? Why are we referring to it as a dog?
It's a robot dog.
It's not a dog. There's no face on it. There's no fur.
It's kind of cute, though.
It's got 4 legs. Do you think it's cute?
Well,
It's funky.
sometimes. It's also creepy.
Yeah.
But
they named it Spot.
I love it.
Even though there's no actual spot on it. Made by Boston Dynamics. It's the latest tool in the arsenal for the Secret Service. The device has been spotted patrolling the perimeter of President-elect Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort in Palm Beach. And so I saw this video where there's just families out at Mar-a-Lago. Because Mar-a-Lago's a resort. You can stay there. You can go there and stuff.
Yes, I will never stay there.
No.
It's a very expensive
both.
resort.
But I saw these families are playing there and they're throwing frisbee and they're doing this thing, and then you see this thing, this little thing
What did
out
it
of
sound
like
like?
Battlestar Galactica, and it's not. They're calling it a dog because it's a quadruped. I mean, it does have 4 sort of legs
Look at
ish,
you with the big words.
but it's not a dog. Why are we calling it a dog? It's a drone.
It's the size of a dog.
It's a drone. It's a non-flying drone. It's a walking drone.
Yeah.
I guess it's the size of a dog. But is it armed? Can it kill you? I guess is the question. Like, how does it? They do not have weapons, they say. They're controlled remotely or automatically. It has a pre-programmed route that it goes back and forth on. It detects things.
So you've got a guy in a control room, and basically this is a camera, and it replaces a human having to walk sort of the perimeter of buildings and land and resorts and things like that. So
So I guess when you have a wide spread out area like Mar-a-Lago and there's various things, this replaces people, and it's easier than having to install cameras and surveillance monitoring.
Well, it probably has, and cameras are fixed, right? And they can pivot, but it can probably go places.
It can walk up and down stairs. It can navigate tight spaces. It can open doors.
Wow.
It's equipped with surveillance technology and an array of advanced sensors that support protective operations. Can it make me a sandwich?
Can it? Or a drink?
No. Does it pee on your leg like a dog will do? Yeah.
Do you really have experience with dogs peeing on your legs? That's not normal.
I have experience with dogs doing awful things to my legs, actually. And it sadly is very normal.
Keep
have
it
you
clean.
been around a dog? Anyway, I guess we should get used to seeing this sort of thing. I've got a.
Is this Elon Musk technology?
This is General Dynamics, but Boston Dynamics. Elon Musk is working on his own fleet of cyborgs.
Well, he has those people.
Yes, those humanoid robots. They're not people.
Now,
Stop calling them people.
They can fold laundry and make drinks and make a sandwich.
And rip your throat out of your neck. I'm trying to stay on Musk's good side because can we use these on the border? I mean, if these are good with securing Mar-a-Lago, can these also secure the border? Can we use these in warfare? I mean, I know that there are drones used in warfare right now, but will we be adding these sort of mechanical dog-like
for bomb detection and
creatures?
Yeah.
I'm sure that we have that now in country and such. So anyway, the Secret Service now has a dog. They named it Spot. It's not a dog. It's a robot. It's a little menacing. I don't see how anyone can find it cute, and I'm sure it can be equipped with explosives, so I'm steering clear. Are we clear on all that? And that was your critter news for today, 6:23.
Now,
On 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app.
O'Connor and Company.
6:37 here on O'Connor and Company, starting your day the right way in the nation's capital. Thanks for tuning in on this Tuesday, third day of December. At 7:05, we're going to check in with Judicial Watch's Tom Fitton about the Biden pardon as well as the fight ahead for Kash Patel at the FBI. 7:35, Chloe Cole's going to join us in studio. She, of course, has become the sort of iconic face of the detransition movement. She's in town for a rally tomorrow, Stop the Harm. 8:05, Brent Bozell, Media Research Center. And then at 8:35, Robbie Starbuck. He's a one-man campaign against DEI initiatives at the corporate level, and he's had great success. We're going to spend some time talking about that. It's Larry O'Connor with Julie Gunlock.
Good morning.
You're Julie Gunlock. Let's get right to it. This whole MAHA thing, Make America Healthy Again. And listen, on the face of it, I would love America to be healthy. America is rather unhealthy, right? I mean, that's not disputed. The question is, why are we unhealthy? Is it because of lack of activity? Is it because of diet? Is it because of portion size? Is it because of things that are in our food? Is it because of the things we choose to eat? Maybe it's all of the above.
Well,
a little bit of all the above.
An embarrassment of riches. We just have a lot of choices out there and a lot of choices of unhealthy food.
Yeah. But there are other very wealthy and opulent countries that, like, for instance, Japan. Japan, for the most part, has a pretty good wealth, and they choose to eat
The funny thing about
differently.
Japan, have you ever seen how much processed food? Go to a 7-Eleven. And I mean, there's videos on Instagram and on TikTok of the love of processed food in Japan. It's just an interesting sort of, because the narrative here is, Americans have too much processed food. Oh my gosh. Japanese eat so much processed food. And so,
but are they more active? Are they more? Do they have
the
smaller
point
portion
it's
sizes?
It's complicated.
It is complicated.
And
There's
MAHA,
a lot of different.
MAHA is tending to sort of like, it's this, it's this, it's this. Instead, it's a lot of things.
Little all the above situation.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and the MAHA movement, of course, sort of personified and led by the incoming Secretary of Health and Human Services, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., and his wife, Cheryl Hines, is a Hollywood actress.
Yes.
Right?
Curb
She's
Your
from
Enthusiasm.
Curb Your Enthusiasm is probably her most famous credit. And I'm sorry, I'm trying to back my way into this, and I got to go all in. I just got to go all in. She's got a line of skincare products, and she utilizes social media to sell them. And she's put out a video to sell her skincare product and beauty line for Black Friday. And she's sitting in her bathroom, and in the background,
And of course, MAHA approved. How nice.
is it? What do you mean?
Well, I mean.
Oh, you mean the ingredients in these
Yes,
products?
very-
Okay, but that's not
Fine.
the least of the concerns with
Yeah, so
this.
I know. You just about got to it, and I ruined it. I'm sorry.
She's sitting in the bathroom selling her products, and in the background is her husband, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., completely naked in the shower. And I just don't know why I need this in my life.
Well, honestly, I got to tell you, he's a very good advertisement for MAHA because he looks pretty good for his age. What is he, almost 70?
So what you're saying is if he wasn't good looking, if he didn't have a good physique, then you would agree that it's a problem that he's naked in the shower on my Instagram while I'm trying to scroll for news items. You're saying the only thing that makes this okay is that his physique is okay. Because I'll remember that. This is pornography. Julie Gunlock, you are embracing. What you're saying
is her whole body is covering him. It's all you can only see his
covering
shoulders.
the bits and pieces
only
are
see his
covered
shoulders.
by Cheryl Hines.
Nice shoulders. I need to stop. Just get control of
So
myself.
porn is fine as long as the person, the naked person, is good looking.
It's not. You can't see much. You're so dramatic.
You see enough. He's naked in the. All right, here's what the ad sounds like.
No, you can't take a shower. I'm doing a video. No, you got to give me a second. I'm doing a video for Hines and Young. Okay.
They are kind of cute.
Honey, the 60% off.
They are kind of cute.
60% off. When your naked husband is in the shot, you shouldn't be talking about what percentage
This
is coming
is just
off.
a husband helping his wife with her product line. It's very sweet.
Well, they're acting like this was some spontaneous moment. It's like, where did you come from?
I know.
You can't
I
take
know.
a shower
It's
while
a
I'm doing
Well,
this.
she's an actress.
Yes.
He's a bit of an actor, too.
The text on the video says, "Oh, Bobby," with a laughing face emoji, a heart emoji, and a shocked face emoji. You can get these sophisticated, refreshing, and mysterious items, including the Capri Honeymoon Candle. Is that what it is? It's the centerpiece, a Maha candle. Yeah, that is available. Oh, it's Maha. There you go. These will make you healthy.
Yeah. By the way, a candle's not going to make you healthy, people. So don't buy into this. Cheryl Hines is sort of, she's capitalizing on the Maha brand. I get it. Fine. But.
All right. So
some would say that's a bit of a conflict of interest.
It sounds like you're you're focusing on all the things that aren't important. The future Secretary of Health and Human Services is butt naked in a shower as Cheryl, and you don't think that's an issue?
You can't see that he's naked. He could have shorts on.
It's
Her
because
head
he's a man.
It's just his shoulders.
This is a double standard because it's a man. You would have a different reaction.
It was just a cute little video.
If Cheryl Hines was naked in that shower, you would have a different reaction.
I'm more disturbed, and I love that you just gloss over this. I'm more disturbed that Cheryl Hines is using the Maha label to sell her products. It's a bit grifty. It's a little grifty.
Well, I mean, have you been paying attention to the whole thing? That's sort of people do tend to enrich themselves on being in the orbit of Trump world. I'm trying to say this as cautiously.
It's a bit obvious.
When people are in Trump world, it does open the doors to possible, listen, I'd rather them make money this way than making money behind closed doors with somebody paying them off with
She's going to be selling pillows
money.
soon.
And by the way, people who are in Trump world are persecuted to no end.
I get it.
So if they can make money while they're getting persecuted, I guess that's okay.
No nakedness.
My problem is our future secretary. How do you know?
He wasn't naked.
How do you know?
You can't see.
He could be naked.
It's just his shoulders.
He could be naked, and there's a camera trick keeping you from seeing his Franken beans.
I didn't mind it.
All right. So what we've learned today is that Julie Gunlock is fine with porn as long as the dude is good looking, and she's got the hots for your. If we ever get him on the show to interview him, you're going to have to recuse yourself.
No.
Bobby, how do you stay looking so good? You need to give some advice to my husband.
That's enough.
It's 6:44.
Making sense of your world.
There are a lot of things that really tick me off.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
Making sense of the news.
You've heard me talk about my friends and realtors, Debbie, Sarah, and Reynolds and Power Home Team. See, when I try to tell you about products or services, I keep my clothes on during the process, and I think that's the way it should be done here on the radio.
On the next Vince Coglianese show, the biggest threat to the left, the truth. It tells you a lot. Join us 3 to 6 right here on WMAL.
Yeah, I was right. Mitt Romney did have a French pseudonym on Twitter, Pierre Delecto.
Wow.
King Kealoha, who was one of our Pierre Delecto. It is a little
weird.
You still could have hung up on Kennedy in the
I'm not.
Ming Kealoha, who is on Twitter, that's his handle there, reminded me of that. Very good. Thank you very much for that. I thought so. Carlos Danger was Wiener. Pierre Delecto was Romney. Got it. Tomorrow, the Supreme Court is going to hear a historic argument on so-called transgender rights. That's funny. I figure we just all have American rights. They're not isolated for one group or another. But apparently there's a thing called transgender rights. They are considering whether a Tennessee law banning gender-affirming care for minors violates the Constitution's Equal Protection Clause. Because I know when they crafted the Equal Protection Clause after the Civil War, they thought to themselves, you know what? About 160 years from now, people are going to want to mutilate the genitalia of 12-year-olds. So we got to pass the Equal Protection Clause.
It is so weird, Larry, when you really just take a step back and realize that the Supreme Court is literally hearing a case on whether it's okay to mutilate children's genitals.
Yeah.
What in the world is going on?
Well, ultimately, they're hearing a case as to whether the state of Tennessee can ban it and still stay within the Constitution's guidelines. Not whether it's okay to do it or not, but whether Tennessee can ban it. And we'll see if that legal question is heard or not. It's United States versus Skermeti, and it's very important. Right now, that's what those laws were passed to affirm, that if you live in the state of Tennessee, you want this kind of procedure, go elsewhere because we are not going to allow it. We don't see any sort of scientific or medical rationale behind it. American Civil Liberties Union will be representing the original plaintiffs, transgender adolescents, and their parents, and a doctor who treats adolescents with so-called gender dysphoria. Now, Chloe Cole, who had to go through this nightmare as a minor, her body was, well, she will say, irrevocably harmed because of the prescription drugs as well as surgical procedures. She's become an outspoken advocate on behalf of children who just cannot consent to this sort of thing. She's going to join us here at 7:35 because there's a huge rally tomorrow on behalf of these kids.
Yeah, and there'll be other detransitioners, Prisha Mosley, who is also a very compelling witness on this as well. And if I can just give a plug, if you're unfamiliar with this issue, check out IWF's Identity Crisis series. Kelsey Bowler, your friend and my friend Kelsey Bowler, has been doing incredible work doing these sort of mini documentaries. And we've done several on the detransitioner community, including Chloe Cole and Prisha Mosley. So I encourage everyone to, just educate yourself on the. I know our audience needs no education, but those videos really tell a pretty harrowing story about what's going on.
They're fantastic. And maybe share that video with someone who does need an education.
Yes.
It's a great way to get the story out. It's 6:53.